Today on Backseat Banter, we're talking about the NFL players whose stocks are going to the moon. My name is Sam, and I'm joined with my buddy Jonathan, and this is Backseat Banter.
STONKS. So, as Sam said in the intro, this is players whose stocks have improved due to the NFL draft or kind of recent news coming out around the NFL. This could be fantasy-wise or real life. So we'll take you guys right into it, give you guys our list of 7, and let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you like the video, like it. And consider subscribing. It's free and you can always unsubscribe. So let's talk about it a little bit, Sam. The Dolphins didn't draft the running back, and that means stonks go up for Myles Gaskin, who had a really nice year last year. And obviously the Dolphins have faith that he's going to be a good runner and a good leader for this team. So they're sticking with him heading into this season. So Myles Gaskin, if his stock doesn't improve because of the offense increasing by itself, he also doesn't have much competition fighting for touches in that backfield. So Myles Gaskin stocks to the moon.
Yeah, this is the one that was kind of weird because out of all of the options here, he's just the one that improved by nothing. Like nothing happened, and that's what made him better. Whereas a lot of the guys following on this list actually improved because they got some help or offensive line help or something like that. But Myles Gaskin, yeah, the offense as a whole got better. They drafted Jalen Waddle, which means that there's going to be a lot less need for just running into a brick wall for him. He's going to be able to have a little bit more space because teams are not going to be able to just decide like whether they want to play run defense or throw defense. It's just a more dynamic offense, and in more dynamic offenses, the running back gets a lot more fun. But let's go on to the second guy on our list, and that's Jalen Hurts. And I know you got some stuff to say about this. He's got a guy to throw to for once. Philly doesn't really have a lot of options, so now he has someone. And then also offseason moves. Carson Wentz is no longer there, so he's not fighting for any positioning. He is their number one, and he's going to stay that way. And now he has a number one receiver to throw to.
Yeah, so this is more the fact that they didn't draft another QB. There was a lot of rumors that they were drafting Justin Fields. They were drafting one of these guys.
Mac Jones was still available.
Yep.
And
there
was still a lot of options.
And because they didn't, his stock goes up. Because had they, he would have been in a competition with another guy breathing down his shoulder. We saw how that worked for Carson Wentz with Nick Foles when that backup came in. But Jalen Hurts is the man, and he got weapons. So that is why his stonks are going to the moon. So invest in Jalen Hurts in fantasy. He's going to be worth it. He put up insane numbers last year, and now his team's just getting better and better. But with that said, we'll move on.
Should still be available in one of the last few rounds. I don't see a lot of people reaching for him, and he could be a gem, even as a streamer option, honestly. If he's still on your waiver wire, consider picking him up, especially for those easier matchups.
For sure. So we'll move on to Deandre Swift now, who breakout fantasy star last year towards the end of the season. He's going to be drafted really, really early this year. And a lot of that is going to their draft selection, Penei Sewell, in the first round, the 5th selection overall. This guy is the best offensive tackle in the draft by far. He's starring in commercials already, and he's going to bring a new energy. You saw how hyped that team was, that front office was, those executives were when they selected him. They knew they got the player that they dreamed of getting at 7, and he slipped and fell to their laps. And with that said, Deandre Swift, the breakout running back who's going to take the NFL by storm, his stock improves because that line just got a lot better.
And there's a few other factors also that's going to drastically improve his stock, as long as he can stay healthy, of course. It's that they got rid of Matt Stafford, and they lost Kenny Galladay in free agency. So now that you have Jared Goff, who is not as great of a quarterback as
check down king
was able to do, and DeAndre Swift is really the only skill guy left on that team. Yes, there are some decent options for Goff. My bad.
Marvin Jones.
But Deandre Swift is going to have a much bigger role in that offense than he had last year. And he was already really good last year, and now he has some offensive line help, and he has more and more touches. So the more touches and the more offensive line, the better your stock looks like as a running back. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's talk about a wide receiver here, Sam.
Now, this guy, I'm happy because he won me my league last year. And that's when he had Mitch Trubisky throwing it to him. And now he has, one of the top quarterback prospects in the draft throwing at him. Yeah. And that's Allen Robinson of the Bears. They kept him around. There was some rumors whether he was going to stay or go. They had faith. They wanted him on their team. They see a future of Allen Robinson in Chicago. Sure. And now they added a guy, Justin Fields, who everyone's saying in the Chicago fan bases that this is their best draft pick ever already.
This is their best franchise QB, yeah. Sam. This is not even only draft pick. They're already giving them the crown over guys like Jay Cutler and Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, you name it. But this is a great selection for the team. Justin Fields is going to bring a new dynamic to the Bears that we haven't seen in a while. A truly promising young quarterback. Maybe Mitch Trubisky's Pro Bowl year, but he kind of fell off there. That was probably in large part to Jordan Howard dominating. But this team is really, really looking upwards. And Allen Robinson, although he performed amazing last year, is probably a top-tier wide receiver this year with how easily Justin Fields is willing to sling it deep and trust his number one wide receiver. So Allen Robinson is definitely one of the biggest stock winners throughout the entire draft.
This is kind of what happened, and I don't know if this is a big statement or not, but when the Houston Texans got Deshaun Watson, and you see DeAndre Hopkins' stock just went through the roof. Yeah. He was already a top-tier wide receiver, and then he got somehow even better. Expect something similar to happen here. But let's move on. Another guy that was already fantastic, he gets just a little bit better, and that's Dalvin Cook. He was already a league winner for most. If you got Dalvin Cook on your team, you're happy in fantasy. But now he's got even more offensive line help. Anytime that a star running back like that gets to be protected even more, Christian Darris. When we were doing our fantasy, our mock drafts of the real NFL draft, not fantasy draft, we haven't done that one yet. Darris was our third offensive tackle behind Sewell and the name's slipping my mind. Vera Tucker, I guess, or Slater, depending on how you look at it. But he slipped all the way down to the 23rd pick.
Shout out the Raiders.
Yep, shout out to the Raiders because they really reached on Leatherwood. But it's all good. But Darris slipped all the way down to the 23rd pick. And when you're protecting Dalvin Cook, the only risk with Dalvin Cook ever is his injuries. And if you're protecting him, you're giving him easier lanes. Watch out. I don't know what records he can break, but he's on the up and up. And he's one of your guys. So
shout out FSU. But Dalvin Cook is a monster. We know that. And this is more of a health thing because that's the only thing that hurts his value, both in real life and in fantasy. But if you can keep him healthy, keep him on the field, you know what he's going to give you. So if this draft selection helps that, I do agree with you. His stock is improved just because of that health factor. Let's move on to Matt Ryan out of the Atlanta Falcons. This guy is a huge draft day winner just because of the Kyle Pitts selection. This offense is going to be disgusting. This offense is going to be one of the most fun offenses to watch in the NFL, and the Chiefs exist. You're not going to see much defense when you watch the Atlanta Falcons, but you are going to see Matt Ryan sling the ball to his insane pass catching core. And it's probably the most excited I've been for one of these Falcons teams since their Super Bowl run. We've seen them go through a lot of slumps, a lot of downs, but this seems like it's an up. They get this generational talent at tight end, and Matt Ryan, you know he loves to throw it, so his stock is going to the moon, and that is an understatement.
And I think, honestly, this is probably the biggest winner on our list, period. And when you look at this team, the fact that they don't have a defense is helping him, right? At least for fantasy. If you want to take Matt Ryan early, you know he's going to be getting touches. He's going to be getting yards. He's going to be getting all the opportunity in the world because the offense is going to be on the field a lot longer than the defense. The defense is going to be ripped to shreds by every team that goes against them. Here's a list of players that he could throw to that could really catch a touchdown. So again, Mike Davis, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. I mean, even their wide receiver 3 and like Russell Gage or Christian Blake, those are great players. Kyle Pitts and Hayden Hurst in the red zone. What do you do? I mean, at a certain point, he might just start throwing it to like Younghoe Koo just for a challenge. You know, I mean, you throw the ball anywhere, and there's a competent guy to catch it. I mean, and even like their RB2, Cordarrelle Patterson, he stepped in and got some good minutes and some value.
The king of the jet sweep. Yeah. So
anywhere Matt Ryan throws the ball, there's going to be a top tier skill guy to catch it.
This is gonna look like a college offense, and you know that those college offenses put up a lot of numbers. So Matt Ryan already a top 10 fantasy QB, top 7 maybe, but now he's in the top 5 discussion.
Especially, I mean, and this kind of sucks to talk about it in this way, but like Deshaun Watson might not play the whole season. We know Dak Prescott's coming off
Aaron Rodgers questions.
Aaron Rodgers, we don't know if he's even gonna stay in the league.
That's a good segue, Sam. Let's do it.
Yeah, and that's a great segue from Matt Ryan to another quarterback, and this one is one that plays in Green Bay, and that's Jordan Love. Now, this might not even really be a draft day stunk.
Do you want me to take this to explain it a little better? All right, so we kind of threw this name on the list because, yeah, the Aaron Rodgers trade rumors are there. Yeah, they're not looking too good for Green Bay. Whether he stays or not, Jordan Love is a good backup for Aaron Rodgers, but the fact that they did not draft a quarterback in the draft, proving that Jordan Love is their guy if Aaron Rodgers does choose to depart, it would have been a nice insurance plan had they drafted a QB. You test Jordan Love. If it doesn't work, you get a guy like Kyle Trask or get another QB to back him up or make it a competition. But no, Jordan Love is the guy in a world where Aaron Rodgers is traded. Maybe if he's traded for a QB, then it's a little different. But as of now, it's looking like Jordan Love's stock is going up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the weird thing here is that they don't want to trade Aaron Rodgers. They've made it very clear. Yeah. They were not taking calls all night. And we know a lot of teams are calling because when you have an MVP, literally the reigning MVP, demanding a trade publicly, basically, something's going to happen. And they weren't even taking calls. So, honestly, it's looking like Aaron Rodgers can't force his way out. He might retire.
Yeah.
And they don't have a backup. Jordan Love is it. That's their guy. If Aaron Rodgers isn't there, Jordan Love is it. And so, it really looks like Jordan Love is going to get potentially a big boost here.
I know his trading cards are soaring right now in their potential market value. So that's always a good sign when you see that those stocks are improving. Your players also probably getting a potential opportunity.
Yeah, well, that's the closest thing to an actual player stock market that you can get, and so it's similar with fantasy. Again, Jordan Love is one of those guys. He's probably going to be on a waiver wire, and if your quarterback gets hurt, or if you see there's a good matchup, do not hesitate to pick up Jordan Love and plug him in.
Especially with Devontae Adams on that team and the Aaron Jones, the weapons that they have. Although they do get a lot of criticism for not surrounding Aaron Rodgers with a lot of them, they kind of do have a powerhouse.
It's not championship level weapons, but it's good for fantasy, especially for a quarterback coming in. This is going to be his first real run in the NFL. Pretty hard to find a better guy than Adams to throw to when you're a first-year quarterback. I put air quotes. He's not a first-year, but you know what I mean.
Well, this is it for another YouTube video for Backseat Banter. If you are watching this on the Banter broadcast channel, we really do appreciate you. If you did like the video, please like it. I cannot stress that enough. It helps us a lot, and I don't ask for much of you guys, but if you do enjoy our content, please also consider subscribing. It is free of charge, and you can always unsubscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Backseat Banter. I'm recording.